Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the final edition of NoDQ&A video for the year 2015. Before we get started here, I would like to thank everyone out there for supporting NoDQ&A video over the past 4 years and beyond as we head into 2016. I would also like to thank Steve Carrier from ringsidenews.com for posting the NoDQ&A videos, and I would like to thank everyone that has spread the word about NoDQ&A video to your friends and your family, anybody you know who watches wrestling. The word of mouth really does make a huge difference. So let's keep shooting for the stars. Let's get those subscriber numbers up. Keep spreading the word about NoDQ&A video. With that being said, let's get down to your questions here today. First one comes from John. Hey Aaron, what would you say was the best and worst moment of 2015 in WWE? Please answer in video and have a Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. I think my worst and best moment would have to be related. I'm talking about the Money in the Bank briefcase. The best moment, Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. Epic way to end the biggest event of the year. Big surprise, even though some people thought maybe Seth Rollins would cash in at WrestleMania. First time in history, Money in the Bank holder cashing in at WrestleMania in the main event and winning the title. That was really special. All the fireworks, I was there live in Santa Clara for that. It was amazing. Seth Rollins winning the WWE title, definitely my personal highlight of the year. And I think for many people, that was the highlight of the year. Worst moment, I would say Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, just because it generated so much negative backlash. But at the same time, my website's traffic was through the roof when that happened. Everyone was talking about it. Sheamus cashing in Money in the Bank, however, did not make that much of a difference. It happened at a pay-per-view that nobody cared about, a match that nobody cared about, a Money in the Bank holder that nobody cared about, and the website traffic really did not generate anything significant coming off of that pay-per-view. So from a business perspective, I hated Survivor Series, and I think creatively it was poorly done. Sheamus was not booked well as Money in the Bank champion, or holder I should say. He wasn't booked well as WWE champion either, but he didn't really have much momentum going in the first place. So I would go with that. Sheamus cashing in as the worst moment of 2015. Alright, this one comes from Mr. Johnson. So when Raw was off the air, there was this indication of the direction that WWE is going in for John Cena versus Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. A lot of people have asked me about this, the stare down after Raw went off the air with Roman Reigns and John Cena face to face in the ring. A lot of people asking me, is this the first tease by WWE for WrestleMania 32? It very well could be. This was one of the matches that I've brought up in recent weeks as a possible WrestleMania main event, and WWE has really done nothing to hint in any kind of direction officially, and even this was done off camera, so who knows if this is actually the direction WWE is starting to build up for WrestleMania. It remains to be seen what's going to happen. I could definitely see that as a possibility. As I talked about, Superman versus Superman, similar to Hogan versus Warrior at WrestleMania 6, and John Cena passes the torch to Roman Reigns. I could definitely see this match as a possibility for WrestleMania. Is it the best choice? I'm not so sure. If The Rock is wrestling at WrestleMania, I think your perfect card would be Rock versus Triple H, since that was teased at WrestleMania 31, and that would be the nostalgia match. And then you have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, rematch from WrestleMania 31, and then John Cena versus The Undertaker, the big dream match that we haven't seen yet at WrestleMania. To me, that would be the ideal top 3 matches, but who knows if The Rock's wrestling. I wonder, if you have Cena versus Reigns, what do you do with Brock Lesnar? Who do you put him in there against? Will he go against Bray Wyatt? Is Bray Wyatt really a credible enough star to go against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? It's interesting. I just wonder what WWE would do with Brock Lesnar if Lesnar's not facing the champion Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And he's obviously not facing Undertaker. So, I guess in the next couple weeks we'll know for sure. I don't think that this is a guarantee, this tease after Raw went off the air, that we're going to see Cena versus Reigns, but it very well could end up being the case. Alright, this one comes from Reem Fly Guy. When do you think the Tough Enough winners will make a debut? And do you like who won? Please answer in video. Who won again? This is a serious question, by the way. I don't even remember who won. I remember Tanner was one of the guys. I'm not sure if he came in second or third or whatever. Sarah Lee, I think, was the female winner. And WWE has not done anything with the Tough Enough winners yet. And this is not a surprise. You look at the previous Tough Enough from, what was it, 2011? When Big Andy won. Was that his name? I don't even remember. But the guy who won Tough Enough, he came out on one Raw with Stone Cold, and that was the end of it. So I was not expecting anything to happen with this year's Tough Enough with any of the winners going on to become WWE superstars. And they haven't even gotten a chance to appear on television yet. Now, maybe WWE's trying to wait until they're fully ready before they debut, but the longer period of time that passes, I think the less people are going to care. So, you know, they should have at least appeared on television and done some sort of angle and then bring them back at a later date, but nothing's been done. It just goes to show that winning Tough Enough really means nothing in this day and age. Not that it ever meant much to begin with, but certainly now it means less than nothing. I mean, it's really just time filler, the Tough Enough show. Bringing it back was just to have something on TV and nothing more. Alright, this one comes from Havid Rayman. I apologize if I mispronounce the name. I'm terrible at pronouncing these names, by the way, so bear with me here. Do you think there should be a Slammy for the referees, or they should go into the Hall of Fame? Because they are always forgotten. Please answer in video. I think I've brought this up before. I would like to see some referees go into the Hall of Fame. I wish WWE had gone with the Ultimate Warrior's initial idea of having somebody beyond your typical wrestler go into the Hall of Fame. Maybe a referee, maybe somebody who works behind the scenes. Those kind of people getting recognition in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, the referees really don't get enough recognition, in my opinion. I think that a referee has a really important job. You know, they're always listening to the headpiece, and they're the ones that have to make sure that everything in the ring is going smoothly and everything is going as planned. The referees really have a very important job, and you know, it's always about the talent and not the actual referee. The referee is talent as well. I definitely feel the referee should get a spot in the Hall of Fame. Maybe one referee a year. Something to change things up a little bit. WWE's running out of people to put into the Hall of Fame, so why not put in referees? Have one referee each year go into the Hall of Fame. I think that would be a great idea. Alright, this one comes from TJ. Please answer in video. Why does WWE make Ron Killings look like a joke every week? It really pisses me off. R-Truth had his run in WWE. He did get to headline a pay-per-view against John Cena. He did get to team up with The Miz against Cena and The Rock at Survivor Series. And yes, WWE completely dropped the ball on R-Truth when he turned heel. And then that match with him and The Miz teaming up against Cena and The Rock, that was just a disaster. Both guys were portrayed as jokes, even though they were in the main event. It was ridiculous. I think that with R-Truth, he was WWE's flavor of the month. He was their nice little toy to play with, and when they got tired of that toy, they tossed it aside and moved on to the next toy. I think that that's how they see their talent sometimes, is just, we're going to experiment with the guy and pretend like we care and give them a push for 3 or 4 months, and then we'll move on to the next guy. That's how WWE tends to operate. That's how they've been doing it over the years. So yeah, it is what it is. At least for R-Truth, he still gets television time, and when he does appear, it's entertaining. That's a positive, and having the TV time is better than not having the TV time. Let's just put it that way. Alright, this one comes from Izzy Aya. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name at all. Do you think we could ever see Sami Zayn as a heel? Probably not. When you look at guys like Daniel Bryan, and when WWE tried to make Daniel Bryan a heel, it did not work. By nature, the smaller guy works best as an underdog. He's a guy who has to overcome the odds. People like Daniel Bryan, people like Rey Mysterio, people like Sami Zayn. These guys work well as underdogs. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, a guy who's 7 feet tall and 400 pounds, it's going to be hard to make that guy a babyface because he's a giant and he's intimidating and he's scary. And it's hard to make that kind of character an underdog. So by nature, because Sami Zayn is small, because he is known for doing all the cool spots in the ring, you want to naturally cheer for the guy because he's so athletic and he's small and he's an underdog. All these reasons, that is why Sami Zayn works best as a babyface. So could he be a successful heel? Probably not. The only way it could work is if he was a really strong talker who could generate the heel heat, but very few people can do that. With Sami Zayn, it's all about his in-ring performances, and that is what gets the people behind him. So because of that, he really works best as a babyface. It just wouldn't work for him to be a heel. Alright, this one comes from The Undertaker Guy. If you could undo anything from WWE history, what would it be? I would have Taker's streak never broken. Please answer in video. This one's very easy for me, and I think most old-time fans would agree with me on this. I would undo WWE buying WCW. To me, that was really the biggest change, single biggest change in the history of the wrestling business, and I feel it was for the worst because maybe WCW would have survived, maybe not. The odds were against WCW surviving, but they would have still had a chance if Eric Bischoff somehow was able to get control of WCW or someone else was able to buy the company and reboot it and rebrand it. Maybe we would have seen a new Monday Night War era in the wrestling business. And when WCW went down, WWE's biggest competition went down. And it changed WWE because they no longer had their backs up against the wall. They could breathe easy. They could produce less captivating television because they were the only game in town. To me, that was the biggest negative in wrestling, was for WCW to be sold to WWE, bar none. Alright, this one comes from Jamba, DJ Birdie Booster. Hey Aaron, do you think it's overdue for a heel to win the Rumble? Plus, with Roman Reigns champion, makes sense for a heel to win. It would make sense for a heel to win to challenge Roman Reigns. The problem is that there's no real top heel for Roman Reigns to face at this point. I mentioned Brock Lesnar earlier. He's a babyface, and that would be one reason not to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, because it'll just be WrestleMania 31 all over again with the fans cheering for Brock. That is the problem. WWE is very weak when it comes to main event heels. I mean, the biggest heel is really Triple H, and he's not an active wrestler anymore. You had Seth Rollins, but he's gone with injury. That leaves Bray Wyatt, who has been booked poorly for the most part. That leaves Kevin Owens, who lost in 15 seconds to Neville, and now people think maybe he'll be built up strong enough for Brock Lesnar after losing to Neville. I mean, just doesn't work. There's not a lot of options right now, unfortunately, so you either go with Brock Lesnar or you go with John Cena and hope that there's a 50-50 reaction and the fans will accept the idea of the new dog winning and the old dog passing the torch. So WWE might end up banking on that, but they really don't have a lot of choices. The other choice, of course, is Roman Reigns versus Triple H if they want to drag out that storyline. But if Roman Reigns is the champion, is Triple H going to win the Royal Rumble? So who knows what's going to happen. Alright, this one comes from Stacy Tyler. Hey Aaron, longtime viewer, question. Why weren't wrestlers like Test or Umaga acknowledged when they passed away? Please answer in video. The answer is that WWE doesn't like to draw attention to the fact that a lot of wrestlers are dying young. If you notice, when somebody who's older, like Dusty Rhodes, passes away, now of course Dusty Rhodes is an all-time legend, but the older guys, when they pass away, WWE will acknowledge it. Guys like Vern Gagne, when they pass away, WWE will acknowledge it. But when a younger wrestler who wasn't a top tier guy passes away, WWE doesn't want to draw attention to that all these guys that were wrestling just a few years earlier suddenly drop dead. WWE just doesn't want that negative publicity, which is why they do not draw attention to it, which is unfortunate. These guys should get a graphic or something, but from a corporate standpoint, I get it why WWE doesn't do it. All right, that'll wrap it up for the final edition of NoDQ&A video for 2015. Thanks as always for watching. Keep spreading the word about NoDQ&A video. And by the way, my New Year's resolution is to keep this beard until either John Cena or Roman Reigns turns heel. So there you have it. For those of you that dislike the beard, you better get to emailing WWE, tweeting them, Facebooking them, and letting them know that they need to turn John Cena heel or Roman Reigns heel. This is my protest in a way. I am protesting there not being a top heel in WWE, and I want to see some kind of major change so NoDQ.com gets more traffic and the wrestling fans have something to talk about. So until that happens, I'm keeping the beard. At least I'm going to try to. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully you all can deal with it. With that being said, I will see you guys in 2016 for more NoDQ&A video.